Very few people had AB Network, formerly known as Newton, on their radar. Yet it's a top performer today, but not just today. It has been performing quietly in the lower ranks for quite a while. In fact, it's now the best performer in the top 100 in the last year. It even bet SPX 6900 and Virtual Protocol. Now that then begs the question, is there potentially more upside? And who's buying here? Who's potentially selling? Let's have a look at the on-chain data, the data most people are not considering. So this month, the price more than doubled. This year, we went up by more than 20,000%. And the project revolves around the real-world asset narrative, but more on that later. AB has its own blockchain and transactions get processed regularly. Unfortunately, on the Explorer page, we don't have any aggregate statistics data, as in the number of active accounts or the number of transactions. That's not transparent. But maybe we can infer some activity using the social metrics. So the Twitter account has 185,000 followers. And there's a ported version on the Binance Smart Chain that has 16,000 holders. Really, the main issue is transparency. So according to the website, there's almost $1.5 billion of total value locked. But according to DeFi Llama, it is only 1.7 million. Where does this huge discrepancy come from? Can we see the actual value disclosed somewhere? If you found some data, then feel free to share this over here, right? There's the comment section. If we find interesting data points, I will make a follow-up video and present them in a separate analysis. Now let's get back to that ported version on the Binance Smart Chain, because at least here we've got transparent data. We can have a look at all the individual transactions. Now for that particular token, we've got a glaring issue. 97.4% of the supply is held in a single wallet. But what about all of those other holders? Let's have a look. Again, the current price is 1.5 cents roughly. On the left side, we see the number of wallets that have at least 10,000 AB tokens. At the current price, that's roughly $150 worth of the token. In the middle, we go at 10x from that, so that's $1,500. On the right, another 10x, $15,000. It is surprising that 9,000 wallets hold more than $1,500 worth of the token when there's in total only 16,000 holders. Why would half of the holders have that much capital in the token? That's very, very unusual. It's also unusual to see how the number of wallets went up. It seems like it was almost artificially generated via an algorithm, because why would there be thousands of new holders within the span of a few hours to then completely settle at a specific level to then shoot up again? The same is true for the larger wallets. Again, suddenly a new influx of all of those new wallets. The only thing that looks somewhat organic is the number of whale wallets. Over time, we see how the ratio of new users versus returning users is worsening over time. The first 3 days, we had more first-time users than returning users. Now, the number of returning users continues to grow, but the number of new users is not. Really, the more we look into the details, it seems like there's some kind of manipulation going on. The manipulation might not happen via the perpetual futures because there's barely any trading volume there. But we do have a lot of trading volume on the centralized exchanges, and that's led by BitGet and followed by HTX. And unfortunately, we can't look into the statistics of that trading volume because it's not transparent again. Here is the AB token price relative to Ethereum over time. We tended to see a sell-off for multiple years. Now this massive rally, subsequent decline, potentially a secondary rally again. I'm personally not a fan to join games like this because obviously there are a few whales that manipulate the price in any direction. There's not necessarily organic growth happening, otherwise we would see that on chain. And when the whales can decide where the price is going, then I don't want to necessarily bet against that. Because again, they've got an information edge. They know more about what they're going to do with the price than I can ever know. And so even though it has been a nice performer in the past, there is no guarantee that this will continue. The last year was great, but all the years before that, not so much. Now, to really outperform in crypto, we have to be early. We have to buy before the masses do. We have to buy the assets that aren't necessarily that popular at the time, that will become popular at some point. And so in the end, crypto isn't really that complicated. It's all about spotting trends before the masses. It's not that different to fashion or any other industry that lives from attention shift. For example, who was able to buy virtual or SPX very early? The people that spotted those trends early, that bought in early, are likely going to buy the next thing also before the masses. Have a look at this. Kyle Chessy bought SPX at 49 cents. And now we are at $1.55. Or have a look at Fartcoin. Kyle Chessy bought that at 4.5 cents. And now it's at $1.28. Here is Kyle Chessy. So he's got his own YouTube channel with 153,000 subscribers. And we are tracking his wallets. So we've got 12 wallets that we found out via on-chain analytics, via the NFTs that he owns, via the centralized exchange addresses he has, via very distinct token transactions. So we found his wallets, we are tracking them, and we get alerts whenever he's buying and selling. Or have a look at this purchase. This is Brian Young, and he bought Virtual at 7 cents. Virtual is now at $1.92. Here's his YouTube channel. He's got more than 2 million subscribers. And we are tracking 5 of his wallets. In total, we track almost 600 wallets across various influencers. And again, we get the signals whenever those people buy and sell. Now, it's very hard to say whether or not those influencers make all the money because they are insiders or because they are smarter than others or because they influence the market. But when they are buying into something with heavy amounts, then there's a good likelihood that there's some kind of market edge. The problem, though, is that many of those influencers are not buying anything with heavy amounts right now. The issue is that the market currently is rather calm, and even the large influencers don't get that many views on their videos anymore. Yes, this is the performance of crypto in the last year, and there were a few nice winners. But the picture in the last month looks very different, and there is a good reason for that, because retail interest is going down. The reason why the Bitcoin price is still relatively high is not because of retail. Bitcoin dominance continues to climb. So Bitcoin as a fraction of all of crypto tends to creep up. And the reason is constant accumulation by the Bitcoin treasury companies. So that's led by Michael Saylor with MicroStrategy, but other companies are following as well. So that's demand driver number 1. Demand driver number 2 is the Bitcoin ETFs. So the Bitcoin ETFs tend to buy more and more BTC over time. We are now at an all-time high of those holdings. So it's Wall Street, it's traditional finance that's buying Bitcoin. Interest by retail, on the other hand, is very low. So here's the number of search queries for crypto in blue, for Bitcoin in red for the last year. This peaked in November 2024. Since then, is going down sharply. But the price of Bitcoin is not going down. Bitcoin's dominance continues to rise, and the Bitcoin price as well. Again, the market dynamic has clearly changed, and what worked in the last year might not work this year anymore. And so I'm just fascinated how many people try the same approach even though the fundamentals are changing. A lot of people simply have a broadly diversified altcoin portfolio. They own 10, 20 altcoins, and then they wonder why they don't perform as well as Bitcoin does. If most altcoins underperform Bitcoin most of the time, if Bitcoin dominance is rising because it's Wall Street that's pouring money into the system and it's not the retail investor, then that's just logical, right? This is to be expected. We have to adjust our strategies, and I definitely did. I'm, for example, buying this here. Now, this is an Ethereum chart, but not a regular one. It's Ethereum relative to Balancer. So I'm betting on a relative valuation. I'm betting on Balancer doing worse than Ethereum, and this can grow the portfolio extremely quickly. Again, most altcoins underperform Bitcoin and Ethereum most of the time, and that is because of tokenomics. The supply of most altcoins grows very, very quickly, and the demand doesn't grow as quickly because the number of altcoins is going up, and so there's more and more competition. But also, we need to see massive adoption usually. So supply grows very fast. So the number of Balancer tokens moved from 20 million all the way to 70 million in the span of 4 years. And the question is, can Balancer really grow that much quicker than Bitcoin? Or in this example, Ethereum? The answer obviously is no. And this is how it can make money in a market where the vast majority of altcoins is going down and where retail interest is still lackluster. Just have a look at the trades in our community recently. Most of those trades bet on falling prices, and that's the way to make money in the system. It's not necessarily trying to find the next 100x altcoin if there's no new people entering the space. We want to bet on altcoin devaluation, relatively speaking. Again, because there might not be another 100x altcoin in this market. If the influencers start buying small altcoins again, then of course we're going to change our strategy as well. If people start watching YouTube content on crypto again, then of course we change our approach as well. But right now the market is extremely calm and we have to adjust our strategy accordingly. I am of course sharing my own trades as well, and every 3 to 4 days I publish a premium update video. For example, here I'm watching WorldCoin closely. That was on the 26th of May. And then 4 days later, I closed the WorldCoin short. And so that's announced in a separate channel as well. And even though not every single one of my trades will end up in profit, you can feel free to just copy trade me. Again, we want to have the odds in our favor. And the way we do this is to simply flip this chart around. Everything that's red becomes green, everything that's green becomes red. And so if you did not outperform Bitcoin by trading altcoins, then feel free to check it out, right? Premium is currently $125 per month. It's not 165, that's the price during the bull market, but you can lock in the current rate. So if you now sign up for 125, your rate will not increase. You have that forever. If you don't want to sign up via credit card, there's also the way to pay in crypto. The minimum duration for crypto payment is 3 months. Please do not fall for scams. So I only communicate for premium payments via Telegram, and my handle is Gerhard1986. Please do not message with anybody else in Telegram. I only use this account, and I also don't use Discord or Twitter or WhatsApp or any other platform for premium signups. So please make sure you've got the right handle and don't fall for scam. If it's your first time over here, feel free to subscribe. I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. If you're interested in premium, there's the link directly here on the screen. Just click on that. It will lead you to the sign up page. So see you in premium or see you on YouTube. Cheers.